How's it going, Dave from Comic Book Investments? So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are going up in price. Now, are they going to continue to go up? Maybe. Is this ultimate all-time high records and they're going to go down from here? Maybe. Who knows? We'll get into that. But before I do, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of stuff. All right, first up is Batman 222. This is kind of like the Beatles' appearance in a Neal Adams drawn Batman. A 7.5 is up 10% from 290 to 320. A 9.0 is up 46% from 412 to 600. And a 9.4 is up 57 from 1020 to 1600. That would be an all-time record for the 9.4. Now, it's kind of crazy that the 9.0, the last time it was sold was 2020, and one just sold recently for 600. So they don't come up that often. And this, if you look at the graphs, you can see that it didn't really get much of a comic boom during, like a year or so ago. Man, it's been a while. But, these Neal Adams Batmans are always good long-term investments. Now, not all of them are going to be hitting record after record after record. As you can see in the graphs, it's just kind of like this all the time, but over time it goes up. Notorious is the Green Lantern 76. Now that goes up like 2% a year, but it doesn't really go down. It just slowly goes up. It's very weird. You think that one would be a little bit bigger, but very interesting book. But you can't go wrong with these Neal Adams Batmans. Next, we got Captain America Comics 47, a very cool old war cover. A 2.5 is up 37% from 1025 back in 2019 to 1400. A 3.0 is up 100% from 675 to 1350. And that last one sold was in 2011. And then a 4.5 last one sold was in 2020 for $1,200. Now one sold for $37.20, up 210%. These old timely, before Marvel Comics was called Marvel Comics, they're all actually called Timely Comics. These old timely, especially Captain America comics, and if you got the war cover going on, they are solid investments. These are just really, really good comics to invest in. You're going to buy them, whatever price you get them at, in 5 or 10 years, they're going to be a lot higher than that. Why? Because supply and demand, there is not much supply out there. Very rarely do these do raw copies even show up. I mean, in the last year, only like 3 copies have sold in all grades of this. It's not like people are hoarding them. There just isn't any out there. So when they finally do come up, a lot of people like them. And as you collect more and more and more and become more of a seasoned collector, a lot of people start going for these older comic books. And there's just not that many out there. It's not like, you put up Ultimate Fallout 4 or something like that. There's probably some person sitting on a stack of like 100, somewhere. But yeah, that doesn't really happen with these types of comics. All right, next we got Showcase 60. First Silver Age appearance of the Spectre. A 6.5 is up 54% from 140 to 215. An 8.5 is up 19% from 450 to 535. And a 9.0 is up 67% from last one selling in May for 810. Now one selling for 1350. Now there's no news of like Spectre doing anything or anything like that. But Spectre was a big character back in the Golden Age. Through, more fun. Then he was also part of their Justice League, or I think it was Justice Society, and all that kind of stuff. So he was a pretty big character in the Golden Age, and then he just kind of, fell by the wayside. He came out with his own stuff, never was really that big in the Silver Age, and he's just kind of a character that's there. I think one of the problems with him is he's just too godlike. I think that's like a hard character to write story after story after story, but nonetheless, still a massive character. And if you paid $13.50 for it in a 9.0, I mean, judging by just the whole last forever, it seems a bit high. But do I think that you're going to be fine in the long run? Yeah. All right. Next, we got Transformers number 1. A 9.0 is recently up 2% from 131 last month to now 134. 9.4 is up 9% from averaging 183, now around 200. And a 9.81 recently sold for 2,100, and previously it was selling for 1450 back in October. That's up 45%. The reason why this is happening is because they came out with Beast Wars and Transformers. I don't know if you guys remember Beast Wars, but it's basically, I looked at, I was like, oh, it's Beast Wars. They're making a Beast Wars movie. And I looked at the old Beast Wars I watched when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, God, the graphics are so bad. But nonetheless, that's why this is going up. They just released a trailer for, I don't even know what number this is, probably like number 10 or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I just stopped watching them after I think 2 or 3. But is this enough to like really push this comic book to new heights? No, I don't think so. It'll probably go up for a little bit and then it'll drop down. Maybe the movie comes out with a small spike again, but I still think this will just slow its trend down, but it's just, supply and demand. There's just so many of these out there. 9/8, you're going to fare a little bit better because there's less of them. All right, last on this list is Warrior number 1. This is the first appearance of V for Vendetta. Also, this is the first appearance of Miracle Man, which used to be called Marvel Man. A 6.0 is up 27% from 310 to 394. An 8.0 is up 42% from 701 to 995. And a 9.0 is up not even a full percent, like 0.2% from back in April selling for $24.95 and now one selling for a record of $2,500. So, I mean, that's not much of a jump up, not even a whole percent. But the good news is that it stayed. It's not going down. So we have multiple sales at a 9.0. This is not even the highest grade. You got V for Vendetta. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. A great movie. Also got, now I don't know if the hacker group Anonymous stole the mask from V for Vendetta or V for Vendetta stole it from the group Anonymous. I really don't know which one came first. I know V for Vendetta came first. Let me see if I can see in this picture. It doesn't really look like the mask, but yeah, I don't know who borrowed from who kind of thing. It's kind of like the Black Panthers, that group whenever it was. I believe that if I can remember correctly, I think Black Panther, the character, came out first, the Marvel character, before the group. It was like months, like 2 or 3 months apart from each other, if I can remember correctly. But nonetheless, this book, it's also Alan Moore. Alan Moore used to write over in the UK. He did Miracle Man, which is pretty cool, where he drudged up an old character that had all this legal battle stuff, changing the name from Marvel Man to Miracle Man. Very interesting stuff. I was planning on doing a video on it. I think I even wrote a script for it, but I never actually made it. And then obviously Alan Moore came over here. He did a Swamp Thing, also did The Watchmen, which I really like. Nonetheless, it also has, Miracle Man and V for Vendetta. I still think this is an oversized book, so it's like this. It's like skinny and tall. So it's a very odd book. It doesn't fit in your standard magazine bag and backboard. But nonetheless, I still think this is a good book because it has a lot of significance to it. Nonetheless, and that'll be it. Have a great weekend.